They actually have to make one. Yes. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Yes, my name is Daniel Barron. I'm an event facilitator here with McNally Robinson Booksellers. And before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory, and that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Aninawak, Anishinaabe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. In addition, McNally Robinson Booksellers itself rests on the land once occupied by the Métis community of Roostertown. And of course, we are gathered here this evening to celebrate the Winnipeg launch of the deluxe limited edition of Briar Boleyn's On Wings of Blood. Yes. The first book in her Bloodwing Academy series. And we're very grateful to MIRA Books and HarperCollins Canada for publishing the book and making this evening a possibility. And we are also delighted to have special guest Nisha J Tuli here to join Briar Boleyn and to have Kaila Anttila with us to host this evening. So our three guests, oh yes, give a applause for everybody. And so our three guests are going to have a conversation before opening the floor to questions. When that time does come, I'll just ask you to raise your hand nice and high for me to see. And I'll come by with this wireless microphone just to ensure that you're heard on tonight's live stream, not that we don't trust you to project. And then of course, I'll be back at the end to review signing procedure, where we will ask everybody to stay seated just so we can get all the way over to the cash desk where we will do the signing portion. And now I have the pleasure of introducing tonight's guests. So our host, Kaila Anttila, is a Winnipeg-based content creator, passionate about sharing her reviews and recommendations on romance and fantasy books. With a growing community on Instagram and TikTok, she connects with thousands of readers who are obsessed with all things bookish. And our special guest, Nisha J Tuli, is an Amazon Top 50 and international best-selling author whose books feature kick-ass heroines, swoony love interests, and slow burns with plenty of heat. When she's not writing or reading, Nisha can be found enjoying travel, food, and camping with her partner, 2 kids, and their fluffy family. And finally, our guest of honor, Briar Boleyn, is a former grad student and teacher turned fantasy romance author. She once wrote award-winning scholarly papers on Dumbledore and Arthurian legend before realizing she could write stories of her own with significantly more kissing. Briar lives in the middle of Canada with her husband and their 2 demon angel hybrid children. She enjoys playing RPGs, visiting red pandas at the zoo, hello Neville, and obsessing over Disney World. Please join me in welcoming them.
We're good. Nice to see everyone. It feels like just a few weeks ago, but I was informed that it was May was the last time that we all did this together. I don't know if anyone was here the last time. Yeah. Thank you for coming in. But another big congratulations, I think tonight. We just found out, Briar, that you have made the New York Times bestseller list at #2 for On Wings of Blood. I will not correct. Did not. Exciting that we get to to celebrate here in Winnipeg.
I have to be strong because Tanisha did my makeup.
But
it did not smear when I cried the first time. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And I assume that everyone here has maybe read your book. But if not, maybe
I hope so because there's a quiz at the end.
Yeah. I hope there's not. But maybe you could tell us a little bit about what it's about and the vibe, if there are people here who haven't read On Wings of Blood yet.
Dragons, vampires, fae, kissing, killing, too, and biting.
Pretty good summary. And you know, when getting into writing On Wings of Blood, I guess how did you have inspiration for that, or how did you come about deciding to write it?
Can you hear Kaila?
Can you?
Yes. Okay. No. Lots of different specific inspiration for On Wings of Blood. Just it's a mashup of like Game of Thrones, Zodiac Academy,
Vampires.
lots of vampires, True Blood, like so lots of influences meshed into one.
I think you have mentioned though, or at least to me, that you had specific inspiration for some of the male main characters, perhaps for
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
I woke up way too early today and had a lot of coffee. For Blake, so we've got Aemon Targaryen, Daemon Targaryen. How do you feel about those?
Like that.
They're really weird.
A little bit morally
they're
gray.
hot.
Do you
I
consider
can't
him
help it.
morally gray?
They're pretty morally gray. They're like, or morally black. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty morally black. Kylo Ren, Draco,
That's fair.
Eric from True Blood, but not the brown-haired guy. Whose name I can never
And
remember.
sorry, that's another question. How did you decide? There's so much Tamlin hate, I think, within the community. Why and how did you decide to make him blonde?
That was an accident. Did not realize how hated blondes were.
There's a difference between blonde and like white.
White
Yes,
hair.
he's white
Yes,
blonde.
two
He's
different
white blonde.
genres of male
Yep.
characters.
I feel
Thank you.
sorry for my blonde son.
Yeah, exactly. You have beautiful blonde hair. Blondes and our kids are kind of blondish too.
Yeah. So that was just pure accident. It's funny though, because as a reader, I think a lot of us see a blonde male main character and we're like, okay, well, he's not the final love interest then.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, the blonde hate is strong.
But speaking of, so there's Cage, and I feel like a lot of readers have fallen in love, perhaps, with Cage. Were you
that gonna go for you guys?
Yeah, were you expecting that?
I mean, I tried to make you, he's a likable character. I like him too. And he's very enigmatic and mysterious and like, he's a little wiser than Blake in some ways, I think.
Are you able to give us any hints about what's coming next for him?
No. See in book
No.
3.
That's fair. Speaking of book 3, how is that coming along? Or I know things have changed now that you're working with a traditional publisher, because I know there was news like, oh, book 3 is coming. And obviously timelines changes that happen. So can you?
The timeline has changed. I'm very sorry. The book's done and I'm gonna write the final book in the next coming months.
So it will be a 4-book series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 4-book series and then hopefully they'll release the last one next year sometime too. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm crossing my fingers.
And how has anything changed now, or now that you're working with, now that you're traditionally published, has anything changed with your writing process or how you're releasing books?
I have to wait for people to read the book a lot longer, which sucks. So only like 3 people have read it. One is my sister. She's not here, so you can't pump her for information. But that's the main, but lots of other things have changed too. There's just so many more people working on the series. Oh, hi Mel. As a team instead of like it being a single person effort basically, which is what it was for 4 years.
Are you able to give us any like mini, like just like a tiny tidbits, like a mini spoiler of book 3?
Neville has his own point of view.
Okay.
There are 5 point of views in book 5,
Oh, wow.
book 3, sorry. But it's not gonna go into Game of Thrones territory where you're confused, don't worry.
Okay, that's fair. So with your book, I feel like it kind of became viral on TikTok earlier this year. I'm kind of thinking about timelines. How was that for you? What was that like?
I think it happened at a very weird time. Where we just lost my friend's mom and we were in Disney World and everything was happening at once. So it was exciting, but just weird timing.
Okay, like very surreal timing.
Sorry.
No. I'm also excited for you, but I can understand how that would be hard.
I've been asked that before. I need to answer it.
Yeah, no, so when it comes to, like, when did you know, like, this is gonna be a big thing?
I didn't know until today, like, that it was gonna be this big, so it's still just kind of blowing up and it's running away. Like, I had a friend who got married once and regretted it and said, once you get on the wedding train, you cannot get off again. That's just how it happens. And I feel like I'm on a train, you can't get off. The publishing train is going and this
You got a great book for.
But I'm really glad that I have you guys here with me for it. So thank you.
I know, Nisha, your books too have gained some, like, you have been almost viral, I think you mentioned in the past with Book Talk. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did.
She was Book Talk viral before me. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it was life changing.
Because I think with Trial of the Sun Queen, your series, it was out for a while, from what I understand.
Yeah, it had been about, like, the first book had been about 6 months it had been out, and then it kind of hit on TikTok, then blew up, and then everything, publishers came to me, and suddenly everything changed, and
Kaila is one of those book talk influencers and just did a CNN interview about the power of talk, basically, right?
I mean,
And
yeah,
Instagram.
it's life changing, yeah.
Yeah, it is,
tough for
I feel
Kaila.
like readers now have a little bit more say in what we
Yeah.
like are wanting to read versus I think publishers may be telling us like, these are the books you're going to read. So it's nice to see
I
that.
think the publishers are just chasing it at this point.
Yeah, like
Right?
it's
They're
more of
just-
like a symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship maybe.
Is that what you said in your interview? Tell us everything.
We'll see, you have to watch.
No spoilers for you.
Yeah, no spoilers. You guys don't give me any spoilers. So in terms of your writing process, what is that like when you're writing the series? Do you know how it's gonna end? Do you know how each book is gonna end? Or what is the term again?
Pantsers versus
Is it
plotters.
pantsers?
I'm just remembering
Pantsers?
Nisha's terrifying answer last time. Where she's a pantser.
And I don't know how it's gonna end. It's always a surprise to me. I mean, I have maybe, when I finished Artifacts, it ended totally differently than I thought it was going to when I first started writing it. And
Do you know how the romantic relationship's at least gonna end?
yeah, I mean, that
Is
one's
the
easy.
plot that's
Yeah.
a little bit different maybe?
Yeah, and how they're gonna like get together and be apart and get together and like, that might change, but yeah, I think it's more the bigger plot because for romance, we know how it has to end, so that part is.
Not always.
Well, hopefully.
Okay,
Sometimes
well,
you accidentally dip your feet into why choose your,
okay, well, that, I mean, but still, it's going.
but there are no threesomes in book 3, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe book 4.
I'm just looking at my husband's face over here.
I'm sorry, Roman.
Speaking of why choose, do you guys have any other genres that you like to dabble in, or is it just mainly romantic? What are the types of genres you guys like to read?
To read, I like reading dark romance too, and eventually I'm gonna write dark romance, probably under a pen name. Too much.
You don't have to hide.
Well,
We will love you,
good to keep
no
it
matter how dark
separate.
it gets. Like how dark? Like is this your?
No, I mean like
Do you have a
like the
favorite
most
dark-
fucked up shit you can imagine.
Do you
Put
have
that
a
on the
favorite
book cover.
dark romance author?
Right now, K.M. Morinova, I'm obsessed with. She wrote the best, it's called Leave Me Behind, and it's this like dark army book, which I'm like not usually into military
Are you taking
romance,
notes?
but it's so hot. And I
People
just,
told me to read that.
it's so good, and I just downloaded her next one off NetGalley, was on Read Now, and like my friend, she's like, it's on Read, I was like, I ran. Yeah, right now I think she's my favorite.
What about you,
Do you
Brian?
read dark romance?
I
can't
do.
remember. Okay.
I keep it off of my Goodreads though.
I also interesting. Okay, I've
See, I have a
never.
secret Goodreads where I keep like, I don't rate other authors' books unless I can rate it a 5-star, because that's just not cool. So I just have my secret one just to track my books that I'm reading.
I totally get that. Yeah, I also do that too.
So you read dark romance too then?
No, I just have a secret Goodreads
Okay.
where I track like all my parenting books and like if I'm gonna read a self-help book, then I'm gonna read it there, so you don't have to see it all.
So is that those are the other genres you read then? Parenting?
Sometimes, but I haven't finished any recently. Other genres, fantasy, sci-fi, but I've been reading lots of romance. I read Dagger Bound, that was good, and my best friend's book, The Frost Witch, which is Why Choose, with dragons.
Fair. And so you've mentioned writing dark romance in the future. I know you're writing YA book that's coming out.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, which is dystopian, like dystopian romantasy, they're calling it. So like, I don't know, it's set in the future, like New Manhattan, the year like 3000 something.
Ooh, I like that.
Like post our world, like we've destroyed our world, which seems truer with every passing day. And this is like the last bastion of human civilization. So like,
I love that.
so it's like fantasy, but there's no magic. There's a power that people have, but it's not magic. It's like evolutionary, and it's like developed from this environment that they live in because the weather and everything has changed and that kind of thing. So I feel like it's still adjacent to romantasy.
Yeah.
Like it's not a huge departure, and like it's not that YA, like I was just getting at it, so my editor was like, make it hornier. She's like, we want this to be upper, because the characters are like 19 and 20, like they're like, it's very much upper.
Upper young
It was
adult.
basically so I don't violate my adult contract, so I
Yeah.
just needed them to call it YA, but.
I
it's
thought that was
technically-
NA. If they're
I know,
like-
but it's upper YA.
We can
like they're
discuss
calling it, and
what
yeah,
NA
basically she was
versus
like,
YA.
make it hornier, and I was like, that I can do. I was like holding back because I thought I was writing.
It feels like romantasy and a lot of these terms come as a catch-all, so
Yeah, yeah.
so that people understand sometimes what.
Yeah,
It's just a huge
and I think
bucket.
with like more dystopian coming, like there's like lots more coming. I
Yeah.
think it is gonna fall under the romantasy umbrella, because even though it's not.
Or we'll make dystopia the next big thing.
Yeah,
It
And
seems to
it'll
be,
get
it
its
I
own
feel
seems
like
to
it's
be
gonna
catching
be,
on
I
a
think
little
it's
bit.
gonna be the next sort of thing, but the aesthetic is
Rotopia,
different, I
no,
think,
that
because
doesn't work.
when I think romantasy, I think, yeah, like ballrooms and castles and that kind of thing, but I think this.
Still falls in a romantasy adjacent.
Yeah.
What about you, Briar? Are you working on anything, or you thought that far ahead about what you'll be working on after the Blood series?
Probably a prequel or sequel series, but not with the same characters.
And I think a lot of people don't know, maybe they do know, that you have a prequel series as well.
Another prequel series, yes.
You know, so if people haven't read your Queen of Roses series, you wanna chat a little bit about what that's about?
Yeah, that's the complete prequel series where we first are introduced to the FMC from On Wings of Blood. She's a fae princess, the child of King Arthur, but he's evil. Read that and you will find out more, but I don't wanna, there's a lot of
It's a little
spoilers,
bit
so I
darker
tell you
though,
much,
would
yeah.
you say it's darker?
Yeah, it's, I'd say equally
Book-
dark,
book one's a little bit dark.
and vampires are kind of darker, as dark as you can get. But there's zombies in that one, so you're right,
So
good point.
another prequel, who would be in the next prequel series?
It would be all new characters and we'd get to explore basically Bloodwing Academy a few hundred or 1,000 years before the events of this series. I want to go into the four houses in more detail and explore their powers and how they got to be this way.
It's cool.
And it's even more cutthroat.
Very cool. If you could write the genre outside of romantic fantasy, what would it be?
Probably YA dystopian or sci-fi.
Really? Okay.
Sci-fi, but not necessarily romance. I don't know, but yeah.
And your favorite author right now, maybe we could check out?
Emberly Ash.
Oh, Emily Ash, yes, okay.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yes. Nisha, you mentioned,
And Nisha
hoping my
J.
husband was taking notes on your dark romance books, but do you have any other favorite authors who you're reading right now?
Suddenly you forget every book. My very favorite romance series is The Hurricane Wars by Thea Kelsey. I love her books, and she just wrote one called Tusk Love too that was so good. It's just kick your feet. Like,
Tasla?
Tusk Love. It's like based on a video game, I guess, which I've never heard of, but you don't need to play the video game to enjoy the book, because I've never heard of it. So but I loved the book. Yeah, I love her.
I think you're a bit of a gamer, aren't you?
Yes.
Critical
Yeah,
Role.
I'm a
I think
huge
it's called
gamer.
Critical Role.
Critical Role, okay.
But I haven't had time since I started writing. But yeah, I play RPGs like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Skyrim.
Anyone?
There's not a lot of overlap between romantasy and RPGs, but I would have expected there to be, but that's okay, I'll convert.
Maybe the fantasy readers. How do readers support you directly? Do you guys have any Facebook groups, any
Yeah, newsletter,
Newsletter,
Facebook
right.
group, yeah.
I've heard of your newsletter.
Thank you.
I forget to send my newsletter.
And you're both active on social media.
Yeah.
So is that mainly if people are trying to get the tea going forward, would be the newsletter?
Yeah, or if they love the book, then I have a street team and that's where I post a lot more content and poll people on things like what zodiac sign would like be. So feel free to cast a vote.
Important stuff.
They're still arguing about whether he's an Aries or a Scorpio.
Backtracking for a second, I forgot to ask, do you recommend that people read the On Wings of Blood prequel series before reading On Wings of Blood?
No, I wrote them as two totally standalone series, but it's fun to read the complete series after, especially if you're like going crazy waiting for book 3.
Okay, so we can still read it. That's okay, that's good to know. What else did I ask you? We could do some fun questions.
Yeah. Are we doing the this or that?
We will do it this
Okay.
not. Oh, I have, what's the weirdest piece of research you've ever had to do for a book?
This is the second time I've been asked this question.
That was my question, I'm sorry, I wanted to ask
Didn't
you
have
that.
an answer then and I still don't.
Or what's the weirdest thing you've had to put into Google? Well,
Researching for a book.
I had an answer for that, and now I'm blanking on what my answer is, but if I ever write why choose, then I already know what
Okay,
it's.
well, here's my answer. So for the book Stormbreaker, which is coming out in May, which I've been teasing online for a little bit, there's a thing where the storms are obviously part of the thing, that's why it's called Stormbreaker, and they have these guys that prevent, like they are the Stormbreakers, they need electricity to go through their body, and I was Googling because I wanted them to be hot and buff, and I was like, is it better to have more muscle for the grounding the electricity or not? And I was so worried that it was gonna be not, but it turns out, so I was like Googling left and right, I was like,
thank goodness.
so apparently, yeah, electricity travels more efficiently through muscle than through fat, because I guess there's less water content.
That's your answer from
Yeah.
now on, there you
Yeah,
go.
so luckily,
That's the answer.
the whole everyone is hot and buff works.
Okay, mine's boring, it was just about like how to position a crossbow on a dragon, that physiology.
Was there a good answer?
No, sure wasn't.
Has
I learned a
anyone
lot
done
about
that?
crossbows,
No,
so-
is that a common internet query?
I think I wound up looking at pictures of dragons from Game of Thrones. That's it.
It's kind of like a horse.
Going
Fun
back,
little shoot your horse's head off. There's a process.
going back to how involved now, I guess, like readers are with social media and, you know, being online. Do you ever have people who maybe guess a plot twist? Like a big plot twist and you're like, oh,
Yeah, I think maybe, yes. No, I don't know. I think they think they know, and then it's always fun when you surprise people. Like, I thought I knew where this was going,
Yes.
and I'm like, you didn't know, but.
do either of you have a scene in your books where readers maybe feel really strongly about, like very passionately about it, angry one way or another? Yeah.
There's a scene in Rule of the Hurricane where they're about to do it and then they don't, and it pisses so many people off. But I don't think it was time. I didn't think it was time. She wasn't ready yet, and I stand by that.
There's a term for what you did.
Yes, and I
I'm sure
own
Nisha would say it out
And
loud.
I own it.
This is a bookstore, so resist.
What about you? Is there anything?
I haven't cock-blocked anyone, so don't worry. Probably just there's a bunch where people want to send therapy bills afterwards. Usually after the cliffhangers of a book,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Do you have any scenes in either of your books that were very emotional to write and broke you?
I cried so many times writing Taylor Queen, like, and like every time they go back to the same scene, I'd cry again, like, even though I read it like 12 times, I don't even know how many times by the end. But like there's a part where there's like 3 people and they go into a place and they're holding hands. I don't know, I cried that part every time, and yeah. And there's a scene with the dogs near the end.
The dogs
I'm
dying.
getting emotional now.
Yeah, and I never had cried before from writing a book, so it was very, I think part of it too is it was the ending of the series, and like these books like changed my whole life, and it was like saying goodbye to these characters that were like for a couple of years.
I think that means it's a good book of people crying, or if the author
Yeah.
cries, even better.
Yeah,
We want them crying
Yeah.
and screaming
People said
and
they
throwing their
cried, and I
Kindles
was like,
and
good.
vomiting also.
Yeah, all of those things, yeah, also.
Anything, did you ever vomit from writing that?
Not yet, not yet.
Cry?
Yeah, cried at the end of book so far. So they have emotional endings both times. And then some scenes in book 3, more than one.
And it's at the end of book 3, but we haven't read it yet.
There's 3 cliffhangers.
Yeah, I'm like just trying to think.
Stop it,
right now.
Kaila.
Do you need a beta reader?
Do you need any beta readers? We could do some fun this or that. We're good with that.
Let's do the this or that, and then we'll go into the game.
Okay. And you know what? Everyone else can play too. Okay, we'll do resend or Zayden. Resend.
That's your answer?
No, I'm saying
Oh,
raise your
okay.
hand. Resend.
Resent. Oh, we're in the minority.
I
Zayden.
don't have a preference.
You don't care. Neither.
I
Kind of indifferent. I really haven't.
Okay, Blake or Cage? Blake.
thank you for saying Blake.
Cage.
Both. Oh, you cheater, okay, great.
We'll make this a 3. Audiobook, physical book, or ebook?
Ebook.
Ebook.
Let's see, everyone audiobook? I'm gonna say physical book because we're in a bookstore.
Yeah, that's what we're like
And
going
physical?
secretly.
I'd like to change my answer, physical books.
But I like to have physical books because they're pretty.
Yeah,
So after I finish
They're
an
just
ebook
my
and I
choice.
really like it, I'm like, okay, I need to.
I
read a
can't
physical book.
physically read a hardcover. I
No,
can't.
me neither. I like
It
paper
has to be a
books,
paperback.
I can turn a lot of corners.
Not physically read hardcover.
But I like the way that they look on the
I will
shelf.
buy the hardcover and then I will put it on hold at the library and anything ebook is what I have.
I know, I even have the copy of Not Safe for Work, and I'm like, I need the ebook now. Yes. Romantasy or fantasy? I know what everyone's gonna say here,
What
romantasy.
kind of question is that?
Yeah. If you can say fantasy, you can leave.
The door is over there.
Okay. Enemies to lovers or forbidden romance? Sorry, enemies to lovers.
I mean,
There's
enemies
only
to
one correct
lovers.
answer, yeah,
With the-
exactly.
I mean, you can throw some forbidden in there
Yes,
too.
forbidden
but,
romance. You could do both.
Yeah, you
Who
could.
says, why choose?
You choose.
One bed or one horse? One bed,
Win everything.
one horse?
I win everything.
Win everything, that's fair.
I need to read a good one horse thing, because I don't think
There's so many.
we'll have to remember, we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
That's fine, one horse thing.
Red flag or green flag? Red flag?
Only
Green-
in books.
Green flag.
I
Okay.
like green flags in real life.
Yeah,
Flags
green
in
flag,
real
only
life.
green flags. in
Only
real life.
date green flags in real life.
Yes.
Dragons or fae? Dragons? Fae.
Oh.
I can't decide,
I
I
don't know.
like
They're
dragons,
both good.
vampires,
They're
and
both
fae,
good.
please.
Okay, you guys are not gonna like my answer for the next one, but dog hair or bookmark?
Well, I have a dog hair.
Dog hair?
Yeah.
Collect the bookmark and dog ear the books.
They're meant to be loved.
I know, I just, I find,
They're
I
not
always
like-
lose
yeah.
them and they just dog hair everything. It's a problem. Okay, you had a game.
Okay, we're gonna play a game.
I don't know what this is.
We'll see who gets it. I have prizes. But they're tiny because I can't get the book away in the bookstore. I'm sorry. That was pointed out to me by my publicist. Okay, so I have dragon pins from that Waterstones online event or friendship bracelets made by some fans. You can have your choice after. You have to volunteer first and you can't show up the answer. You must guess which character said it, not the author. If the first person who guesses does not get it, we will go on to the next. Who volunteers first? Characters from mine or Nisha's book. Uh-oh, what if no one volunteers?
They have to volunteer before they.
Then
get
you're
the
gonna
question.
have to do it all.
Michelle's
Okay,
right.
Michelle, this is gonna be super easy for you. Okay, don't worry. You might have to do all of them if no one else
You're gonna have to
volunteers.
leave the store if you get it
No
wrong.
pressure. Oh, are we supposed to pass them a mic or
We
is
can
that
if you
okay?
like.
I don't know, how much pressure do you wanna be under?
Yeah.
You get used to it, so
She's
don't
not
worry.
shy.
Okay, who said this? That bee took my soul.
Suddenly, everything is gone out of your brain.
Uh-oh, someone help them. It starts with the letter. Yeah. Okay, see me after for your pin or friendship bracelet.
It's a book you read recently and something you can't remember.
Yes, you
Something
blank,
read,
it's so
yeah.
hard under pressure. Okay, who wants to volunteer for quote number 2?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Maybe
well,
we
I
just
just
vote
didn't
first,
want,
yeah.
you're right, okay, we'll read the quote
I'll
first.
keep my eyes up for who
Okay,
shoots
okay.
up their hand.
You are not going to die, you will not fall, I will not allow it. I will not permit you to humiliate me in such a ridiculous way. No. No. Close. No. Wrong dragon. You guys are close. It's from, the book is
Wait,
called
wait.
On Wings of Blood.
Throw it.
Yes, exactly, next stairs, yes. Okay, quote number 3. If a fairy godmother arrived to grant me 3 wishes right now, I should not read this in my voice, I need a higher voice. Rowan, please come read this quote. If a fairy godmother arrived to grant me 3 wishes right now, one would be X-ray vision. How? How did I go? Oh wait, this is the right voice. This is the right voice. How? How did I go from hating blank with every drop of my soul to desperately wishing we were both naked? Ironically said. Do you know the answer? Just checking.
I know the answer.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Any volunteers? Okay. Any guesses? It's from, yeah, okay, you know what? We'll still give you the pen. Exactly, not safe from work. Tris from not safe from work. Okay, maybe I made this too hard, I'm so sorry. Maybe we'll skip the
That was a
last
hard
one.
one,
The
yeah.
last one's pretty easy. Okay, well, I also have a bonus one. I want to worship you, say you'll let me. I could not be an audiobook narrator. My voice is way too squeaky.
That's
Did that sound really hot and like vampire-ish? Okay. Exactly, okay,
There we go.
yes. Bonus quote, I felt numb inside, but also on fire. Could both things be true? I wanted to stop holding everything in, stop pretending. I didn't want to be calm anymore. I didn't want to be good. I wanted to burn. That's the last one. It's from my book.
I'm sure I can write that.
Any guess, we'll get a pin. Yeah. Yes, good guess. And it's from book 3.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that was me.
But you still get the pin. You got it right. Okay, should we do audience
Yeah.
Q&A? That was the end of my game, I'm sorry.
Audience Q&A. Questions are open.
Ask Kaila some stuff too.
Hard.
You can raise your hand if you have a question.
Don't be shy.
Hello. As fantasy authors, or as a typical fantasy theme in books is that they use different terms for certain things, like
yeah.
frozen ice cream would be frozen cream, or like
I thought you were gonna
Paper
ask
would
about something else.
easy now. I want to be tame. Or like paper is parchment, for example. Are there any rhyme or is there any rhyme or reason to how you would pick what would be a normal term or make up a different term, or if you want to be like a millennial and throw in a Y into something? Is there any reason, or do you just start typing and think this one needs a Y?
Oh, why? What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, sorry.
Like magic, like if you spelled magic with a
Okay.
Y instead of an A or something.
What do your characters rate with in your books? Mine rate with quills.
No, see, I'm very much, I don't believe in anachronisms in fantasy, because it's fantasy, it can be whatever the hell I want it to be, but I think it's more just like the feeling, does it feel right in this world, in this scene, like, I don't know, I might call it Bill, I might call it Pen, I don't know, like, it actually, it annoys people, because I think, because I tend to use pretty modern language and stuff, and I'm not really into the whole, like, Tolkien-esque
I was
type
really careful with my
fantasy.
first series, and it has probably like a more epic fantasy feel with the language, but then I let myself be more free with the Bloodwing series, and they say some like, they have some like modern slang that I threw in, and it's really fun to write it that way. But then I also wonder if someday it will be more quickly dated. Like I wonder if part of the epic fantasy thing is you're also trying to make it timeless, but I don't know if it ever will be timeless, right? We just read, some books last and some books don't. So will it matter that it included a really funny like modern term? I don't know. Good question. That's too hard.
Sorry, I didn't want to be first.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good question, I've never been asked.
Oh, someone else.
So who of your characters are your favorites?
I was gonna ask Nisha that too. I have some good questions for Nisha. Let's go back to my phone here. Questions for Nisha. No, I'm just kidding.
But you also have to answer them.
Okay,
all.
yeah.
You have to
I was
answer
gonna
it
ask
too.
Nisha, are you more like your FMCs or your fill-ins?
Oh, I have my FMCs. I don't know. Like, 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 I don't know. Like,
little bit of both. We can ask my family, but they're not here.
And which character is your favorite?
Yeah, which character is your favorite?
I love freaking child. I mean, Laura's always the obvious answer.
Yeah, it is like being a child. I don't know if I can
know.
know.
I like them all, love them all for different reasons.
Just tell me.
But you love them too.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't know. But I admire that about you.
I like a complex villain who is
Yes.
the
with
hero
potential.
in their own story.
Like the dark
You know?
one. Yeah.
A hero in their own story. You didn't answer who your favorite character is.
I said I couldn't choose either. So don't worry, I have more questions for you if we run out. Or we can go to the signing, or we can make Daniel ask questions, which could also be.
That's a good choice.
I don't know why I don't think this is a very good question, but on average, like Nisha, you said that you enjoy the editing process a lot. And obviously it takes a lot of time to like hone and like get everything right. You can look at a sentence and change it 100 times. How many times do you read your books before they reach a final product? And how do you know when you're like, okay, this is it? You go first.
That's a good question. I think like less than I used to. Like I'd like to think I'm getting faster at this. At least 7 or 8 times, I would say, at least. And then I don't know. At some point, you have a deadline and it needs to be done. Like realistically, like my very first books, I probably read 30 times because I was on a deadline and I had the luxury of writing it as many times as I wanted. But then when you start publishing and you have a publishing date, you have to finish it at some point.
Not that many times, like maybe a maximum of 3.
Are you in neat draft, tidy draft?
Yes,
Like
I'm
I'm a
really
super
tiny
messy
drafter.
drafter.
Some
so-
people, that's the thing,
yeah.
some people draft differently. So like
Yeah.
when I draft something, I'm not changing very much when I go back, unless I feel like something's wrong, but I don't do lots of rewriting. What comes out is like the way it's supposed to be, but I'll go back and fix typos, I'll like add more dialogue, I'll like fix plot inconsistencies, like smaller things.
Right, and I'm a messy drafter, and because I'm a pantser, I have to go back and fix things. Like because I decided the ending was something, I have to go back to the ending and fix stuff to make sure that ending makes sense later on. So I think like either you put more work up front.
Pantsing
or
seems
you-
way too stressful.
I'm
a
I don't know
pantser
how to
plugger.
plot. I don't know
Yeah,
how to sit
that's
down
fair.
and write a plot. It's
I think it's amazing though that people can do that, like just
I need to
start,
hear the
yeah.
top. I need to make the top and
Yes.
interact before I know this character.
And you're reading it cover to cover 7 times, or is it like you're reading pieces of it?
So when I write my first draft, I write like half of it, and then by then I kind of know where the story is going. So I go back to the beginning and I fix all the things, and then I get to about 80%, and then I do the process again, and then by the time I get through that third-ish time, then I have a working draft that I feel comfortable showing to another human being. And then after that, yes, I go through the whole thing, back cover to cover at that point. Some people write non-chronologically.
Well, I tend to, I have a friend who does that, who can write multiple books at the same time on chronological. Okay, any more questions, or should we go to the?
Okay, when you get to your villain era, out of your characters, who are you happy to kill off?
Do you want an answer? I can't say a lot, I'm trying to not to spoil them the book. So I was thinking about
That can be a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a spoiler. There's in the third book, Fate in the Sun King, someone dies, and I think they deserve it.
Or sometimes I wind up not killing people off as quickly as I thought I would, because we all love to hate a villain. The longer they're alive, the more you hate them. So I like to torture you and myself by like making them have a comeback. But they will suffer in the end, do not worry.
I really like killing that. I really like killing that many people off.
Nisha is like,
No, I don't know. They're all important.
I'm not gonna kill them in real life, just move on.
Yeah.
But they all are important, yes, we love them all. You're gonna redeem someone really bad in your next series, aren't you? She's lying, she's gonna write dark romance. Is there another question? Yeah. I can turn this to you. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, for Briar, I don't know if you can tell us this, but I was wondering if Theo's gonna get a happy ending.
That's all I'll say.
Very good, that's actually.
People love Theo. I love Theo too. My sister says he's changed a lot from book 1. So he changes, she's read book 3, so that's all I'll say. Maybe we'll go to the signing part now. There's no more questions.
Yeah, does anybody here have questions left in the panel?
Daniel, do you have questions?
I mean, I love fantasy. I'm a huge
Yes.
fantasy guy, recently getting into romantasy, but what's your favorite part about writing fantasy books? And then additionally, what's your favorite part about writing romance? It might speak for itself, but what are your
I'm
favorite
jealous
books?
that you get to interview like Guy Gabriel Kate comes here all the time, right? That's one of my favorite authors. Yeah. I like the cliffhangers now. They're really fun to write. With the romance, I like the security of knowing that there will be some form of a happy ending.
I like fantasy because I can make up whatever I want to, because I could never write historical, I could not have visions for research and it's accurate, and putting romance into that, like, romance is so fun because it's like this world and it's stakes always, like, they don't figure it out, then everyone's gonna die, and I think that's like what really is, because it's just this love that overcomes everything, and very dramatic.
Thank you. Do we have any last minute questions from anybody before I take the stage and go to, yes, perfect.
I've been having trouble like wording this in my head, so excuse me if it comes out weird, but I just think that the kind of concept TikTok on social media and what depth of romance and fantasy has been amazing, and I think historically it's been a genre, obviously targeted towards women and individuals. I still feel like sometimes in life there's a lot of criticism towards romance readers specifically, and I just was wondering like if you had thoughts or how you kind of respond to people who might be critical of the genre that you choose to write.
I want Kaila to answer that question too, because you work in.
Yeah, so I think one of the questions that we get asked is like, is romantic fantasy the same as fantasy? Or like, is it flash in the pan? Because it's just this genre that's just exploded more recently, and I think fantasy has been around forever, and even romance that's been around forever. But now with the combination of the two, you are just getting the same high stakes elements, but now with more depth to the story because you have relationships, which add depth to it, as opposed to making
And
it
series aspect.
yeah, making it lesser than. And I think, we also just have many written by women now, which is appealing, I think, to all of us. So I think it's just the same, right? Like we now just have fantasy books that have more depth to their relationships. So that's the way I think that.
That's interesting. Okay, I like your answer and I'm gonna steal it. And Daniel, you know what? I was wondering, so lit RPG is also a huge subgenre of fantasy that's taking off. But I wonder if lit RPG authors could ask that question about the flash in the pan thing. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like a spin-off of video game subculture, basically, where the characters, it sounds weird, but the characters in the books are leveling up throughout the books. Like, have you read Dungeon Crawler Kara? That's one of my favorite books. Okay, that series is really awesome if you like horror fantasy. It's really funny too. It's really good. But I feel like it's the same thing. It's like a huge subgenre that's booming and it's not necessarily going anywhere. I think people did think it was gonna disappear, not last, but it's sticking around.
It's like bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Did Matt Cinnamon come to Winnipeg?
No.
Tell me if he does.
Yeah, I think there's still very much a stigma around romance, and I think like I don't think a lot of people understand how big romance genre is, and like compared to every other genre, like how much money it makes and how it props up basically every other genre. So like when people say things like that, just like you're not being serious because like this is obviously very serious, and I mean it's all misogyny and like that's why people treat it that way. I think things are changing. I think like I was just in Toronto last week for this big romance festival to Toronto Library put on, and like I don't think they would have done that 3 years ago, but I think everyone's starting to
Yeah,
realize
I
like
think it is
the
changing,
power
and
and
it's
the
really cool.
popularity of
Yeah.
romance, and like just right when I got here, someone was like bitching on Threads about how every good event is a romance focused one, and the reason is because no one was inviting romance authors to any book events. So if romance authors want to make their own events, and because romance readers are amazing and voracious and passionate, like they've made these events so big and amazing. And now you're complaining that you're not getting invited to the events. Like it's just like crazy to me. But I don't know. I think there's always gonna be people who are gonna talk shit about it, but whatever. We don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
Talk shit
We
about
love it, and it's we all know it is deep and it is important, and it gives great good messages about you know,
Friendship, loyalty, love,
loyalty, overcoming
everlasting love,
adversity.
redemption.
Yeah,
Redemption is a huge
trauma,
one,
like,
and
all
trauma,
kinds of
trauma,
things.
like I think a lot of romance readers are reading to overcome trauma. That's a
Anyone
whole
who
other
dismisses
topic.
it as fluff really is not. So that's for sure.
Good final question.
Yeah. Rah, rah.
See me after for your presence.
Oh, yes, good reminder, actually, yes. And thank you again, everybody. That was a lovely, lovely conversation. We're now going to move along to the signing portion of the evening. So like I said, it's going to be located just to the right of the cash desk. We're going to be located over there. Just give us a quick moment to navigate to that section, and then I'll call everybody again through the microphone to join us. But many thanks to HarperCollins Canada, to all of you for joining us in person and online. And then, of course, to our wonderful panel. Thank you so much, everybody. We're all set. The mics are off now too, so we're all good. Yeah, yeah.